Hi, Jennifer. Carolina from Sade Adventures here. So happy to help with your Peru itinerary. I have everything in place, and I'm hopping on here to go through the trip with you day by day so you understand how the logistics work, where everything goes, why I put it in there. So let's go through it together. I'm going to share my screen, and you have this PDF with you so you can follow along. Jot down any questions. Let me know if you'd like to make any changes, if there's a hotel that you had in mind, and we can tweak it still. There's plenty of time for us to make the trip your own. So, May 22nd, you're going to take your flight. You've mentioned that you want to do an evening flight. So, we're going to look for overnight flights to Lima, but let's discuss that. Where are you coming from? Many flights are day flights, so you may have to just simply start on May 23rd if you cannot get out earlier on the 22nd. And that's no problem. We will make sure the itinerary fits your flights. Once you arrive in Lima on May 23rd, you're going to go through customs, pick up your luggage, and my team will be waiting there for you with a private car, and they'll take you right to the hotel so you can rest. So, if we're doing an overnight flight, you're most likely arriving at 6 or 7 in the morning. Then we're going to do early check-in so you can rest, unwind, freshen up before we see some of Lima. So the first thing that I thought would be a lot of fun, I know you enjoy wine and food and just seeing the city that way. We're going to do a city tour of Lima, but it's a tasting tour. So you're going to highlights, you're going to ruins, you're going to see all the overlooks and beautiful sights of Lima, but you're going to be eating your way through it as well. You're going to have lunch at the ruins, you're going to go to the market and taste fruit and things like that. It's a really wonderful excursion. It's really nice for your arriving day because it's active. You're walking, you're seeing the city like a person from Lima would. So it's a great experience. We'll take you back to the hotel to rest a little bit. And the hotel that I chose is Hotel B. This is a boutique luxury property. It kind of feels like a gallery. It has all local artists featured throughout every wall in this whole property. I just stayed here not just a few months ago. And so it's a great place. They also have top chefs, top bartenders. So, and I'll show you on the following day what you're going to do with them, but it's a great property. Tonight, I suggest that we do a reservation for dinner. There's so many wonderful restaurants. So I listed a few on your itinerary that we can look into. Once we settle on the dates, we can put the tables in and they can be confirmed for you because many of these restaurants sell out 3 months, 4 months in advance. So we have to plan that ahead. Then on May 24th, we're going to do a more of a traditional tour of Lima so that we can focus on those sites that we haven't gone to on foot the day before. So now we're going to be with a car. We're going to go to the main square, the cathedral, seeing all those things that you would have missed the day before, maybe Lovers Park, which is a beautiful overlook of the ocean. And we will also go to Larco Museum. It's the most famous museum in Lima. It's quite small, so it's manageable. You probably don't need more than an hour and a half in the whole property, but they also have a really charming restaurant in their garden, so we can have lunch there, unwind, again, kind of go at your own pace and see the city exactly how you want it to be. The guides that I have arranged for you and your friend are with you. They are local people from Lima, and then when you continue to Cusco, local people from Cusco and so on, but they are at your disposal. So there's no cutoff times or anything like that. We're going at your pace. If you're walking by something and it looks interesting, we just put it right into the itinerary. So don't worry about that. And then when you come back to the hotel, I mentioned that they have really great bartenders and chefs. They actually offer a great pisco sour lesson right in their bar. So I've arranged that for you. And then a chef arranges a ceviche making class, which is really fun. I've done that with my daughters. And they were having a lot of fun putting together not only the mocktails but also the wonderful ceviche which Peru is known for. Again, tonight we'll make another reservation. Lima has some of the best restaurants in the world, so definitely don't miss out on that. And then May 25th, we would be ready to leave Lima behind and go into kind of that Inca Triangle, which is Cusco, Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu. And we're going to spend a majority of our time in this area. So this is the first time that we're going to arrive in high altitude. So we want to make sure we acclimate slowly, with some thought behind it. So when you arrive in Cusco, we're going to take you right into Sacred Valley. It's 2,000 feet lower. So it really helps you breathe easier, acclimate faster. And we want to make sure you're comfortable. So you're going to spend 3 nights in the Sacred Valley. When you arrive at first, we're going to drive. It's about an hour and a half drive, but instead of just heading right to the hotel, I want you to see some sites. So we're going to go to Maras, Morai, and Chinchero. Maras and Morai are Inca laboratories and Inca salt mines. They look quite stunning, and local families still work these fields of salt. So it's visually beautiful. It's great for photography, but it's not strenuous. We're not walking around too much. Chinchero is another small village that's completely operated by women in business, women entrepreneurs, which is really exciting to see. And they are professional weavers. So it's very colorful. It's very interesting. Again, not a lot of walking, but a nice cultural experience. And we're going to have lunch at Iskay Maras. We like this restaurant. It's a reservation only, farm to table, really wonderful, warm chef that will come to your table and tell you all about what she's cooking that day because the menu changes daily. And then the hotel that I chose for you in the Sacred Valley for the first 2 nights, and you'll see why I say that, is the Inca Terra Urubamba, which is a wonderful retreat, small property surrounded by mountains. They have a great chef on property that includes dinner for you, so you don't have to try to figure out what to do for your meals when you're out in the countryside. And that is what the Sacred Valley is like. It's a huge countryside, so you're not in a village, you're not a close walking distance to anything. So you definitely want to choose a hotel that is really peaceful for you, somewhere where you can rest and somewhere where you can have some good meals, which the Inca Terra provides. And on May 26th, we're continuing to acclimatize, and this will help you, when you're in Machu Picchu and you're hiking. So on the 26th, we're going to move a little bit more. So now we're going to Misminay community. It's an indigenous community that lives in the high in the Andes, and we sponsor them. So every client that goes there, we provide a gift to the community. And then it's an educational experience as well. You see exactly how people live in the Andes for generations and generations. You meet a local shaman for a blessing. You can do a short hike. You can do a Pachamanca ceremony, which is what you see in this picture, where the ladies cook everything underground, and you can participate in it, grind the spices and help load the oven. It's a really, really warm experience. I just love it. Everybody that I send to this sweet community comes back raving about the experience. And then you will also go to Ollantaytambo. So I try to show you the highlights that you might have heard about, and then some off the beaten path places like this Misminay community. And Ollantaytambo is a great town, huge ruins, great for stretching, walking around, and preparing for Machu Picchu. So you'll do that as well. Of course, lunch today, dinner at the hotel, and we're off to our next day. So our next day, because I know you mentioned you want to do some leisure, you want to do some relaxation, you don't want to be hopping around all the time. So instead of going right to Machu Picchu, which is what most people would do after spending 2 nights in the Sacred Valley, I added this remote little hotel called called the Llama Hotel, but it's Mountain View Experience, and we call it the Llama Hotel. It's a place in the middle of the llama fields, really remote, beautiful A-frame little cabins, private bathrooms, of course, outdoor hot tubs for every cabin. And you come here to relax. You come here for the views and the scenery and photography, but we also will arrange a beautiful picnic for you. You can do some wine tasting here. They have horses, and we have prepaid for horseback riding if that sounds like a lot of fun for you. It's one of the best places in Peru to go horseback riding, so I highly suggest it. It's just a great place to unwind before we go on our adventure to Machu Picchu. So let me know what you think. If you want to keep it, if you want to do a third night at Inca Terra instead, we can of course tweak it, but I thought it would be a lot of fun, especially if it's you and your friend doing a little friend trip. This fits really well. And May 28th, we're going to pick you up, take you to the train. It's a 2-hour train ride to Machu Picchu. Our guide will be there waiting for you with a porter. The porter will take your bags. You will join the guide. We'll go right to the ruins, and you will be able to tour the site. So the first day, we're going to really focus on the ruins themselves. There are 5 different circuits around the citadel, and we will choose one for you with the best views, and then have lunch, and then come and sleep in the village for the night. And the reason we're doing that is so that you can rise the next morning and go back to the ruins and visit another area of it, or hike one of the peaks. So if you're looking at this picture, the ruins are here, and this peak in the back is called Huayna Picchu. This is a famous hike Quite strenuous, quite difficult, but really worth it when you make it to the top. If you're not hikers and you have vertigo issues or this is just too much of an activity, we can do this smaller peak called Machu Picchu, which is half the size, much easier, but also offers you beautiful views of the back of the ruins. So highly suggest we discuss which one fits you best because we get permits for that and they do sell out. So it's really something that we plan ahead. Then we'll have lunch at the Sanctuary Lodge, which is the hotel right at the ruins, before continuing to the train station and returning to Cusco. Now that we are fully acclimated and we're ready to, to be in high altitude, Cusco is the perfect location. I didn't tell you what hotel I chose in Machu Picchu, and that's the Sumac. I like this property because it's right at the stop where the little shuttle drops you off for Machu Picchu. So it's very easy in and out to the ruins. And also, they have a very special restaurant that offers a 12-course dinner menu, and the chef comes out and kind of guides you through all of it. There's foam and there's smoke and there's all kinds of gold in your dessert. So they really go all out for this wonderful experience. So I have included that for you as well. I just did that in August, and it was a really memorable dinner to do right after visiting the ruins. And then when you get to Cusco, you're going to be in Cusco for quite a few nights because we're going to see sites of Cusco. We're going to go hiking a little bit. So I chose El Convento, which is a JW Marriott property. The reason I chose that is because they did such a good job with this hotel. I'm not a big fan of chain hotels, but this one is truly an old convent that's been really respected in the construction as a construction site. So you really definitely wake up and feel like you're in Cusco. It doesn't feel like a business hotel by any means. And it's really well located right in the middle of town. They do a lot of extras for their guests. They have monks that will take you on tours throughout the property. All the artifacts that they found while digging, they put a gallery together in their basement of the hotel so you can really get to see some historical side. They actually have an Inca wall inside the hotel that they've discovered while they were building the hotel or renovating the monastery or the convent. And they also have a really wonderful breakfast experience where local ladies from Chinchero come with their llamas and alpacas and they sell their beautiful scarves and art while you're having breakfast. So if you need any souvenirs, it happens right there at breakfast. So it's very convenient. So while we're in Cusco for one, two, three, for 4 nights, the first night you're arriving and you're resting. The second day, I'm going to let you sleep in and we're going to do an afternoon tour, show you the best highlights around Cusco, then do a cocktail tour where you're with a bartender and you hopping around different restaurants and bars, tasting and learning how to make drinks. And then you're going to have dinner inside the archaeological museum after it closes. It's called Map Cafe. Really wonderful experience because after the doors close to the public, the restaurant and the museum is still open for people who have a reservation. So you virtually walk around a museum after dark, and it's quite spooky and exciting. And plus, you have this wonderful meal inside their glassed-in restaurant in the courtyard. So really, really wonderful experience. Peru is all about food and taking it to the next level, and Map Cafe does that. The following day, which is May 31st, again, we're going to leave the morning at morning free, but you let me know. Are you morning people? Do you prefer to tour in the morning and have afternoons free? Because we can certainly flip these activities and fill your mornings and leave afternoons free for your own excursions. So you let me know. But I focused on this day to go to the ruins of Cusco. Sometimes we do those together. We do the city tour and the ruins tour together, but it's nice to have half days free to sit in the main square, people watch and have a little coffee, and not fill your days like you said you don't want to do. So a short tour of the ruins and the sites outside of the city. We will also arrange champagne or wine tasting there so you can see sunset. The city's really beautiful from the overlook. It's all one color. It's used to be in the shape of a puma, so it's very exciting for the guide to tell you all about that. And then tonight, I made a dinner reservation at Chicholina, which is one of the more famous restaurants in Cusco as well. So you will have dinner confirmed as well. And then on your last day in Cusco, I've included Vinicunca, which is the famous rainbow mountain. You might see that on social media. There's a few different rainbow valleys now, so we can discuss what fits you best. Vinicunca is quite strenuous to hike up, but you can rent horses for half the way, so that really helps. And it has that one very colorful peak that you see here in this picture. There's another valley called Palcoyo, which is flatter for walking. It has seven mountains. They're not as prominent, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And you will probably run into three or four people and maybe two llamas there, as opposed to at Vinicunca, where you will see hundreds of people. So it does make a difference which valley we go on, and we can discuss that, but it doesn't matter. They're close to each other, but we will just pick one. And then for our last part of the trip, for you to be able to relax and come home rested, we're going to fly back to Lima, and then our driver is going to take you down to Paracas. It's about a 2 to 3 hour drive. It's a highway through the desert, down the coast, and we're going to check into the Paracas Hotel. It's the best hotel in this area. It's on the ocean. It has beautiful pools. It has spa. It has beautiful restaurants. So it's a great place to end the trip in. This is actually one of the peak places for people from Lima to come and relax for long weekends. And around this area, there are sand dunes for dune buggies. There are ballesta isles to see wildlife. There are wineries, and that's automatically when you mentioned that you wanted wine taste, I thought about that because you're going to go to Pisco and Ica for wine tasting. So all of that is included, and I'll show you how it goes. But the first day you arrive and you rest. Then June 3rd, we're going to do some wine tasting, pisco tasting, go to the vineyards, have lunch. The next day, we're going to do dune buggies. Again, these are not full day tours, so you'll still have plenty of time to relax. But dune buggies are really fun in the Paracas National Park. You can slide down on the boards, you can ride the buggies. So lots of excitement. And then I left one day completely free, so you can hang by the pool, go to the spa, and relax. And then on our last day, June 6th, we're going to be driving back to Lima for your evening flight home. Most flights are overnight out of Lima. So that means checking out of the hotel. That means there's a gap in our day. So I included the Ballesta Isles cruise so you can see some wildlife, so you can see the beautiful views of this coastline before we go to the airport and before we fly home. So I'm sending all of this to you. Please review. Let me know your thoughts. I have included pricing for if you share a room with your friend or if you want two single rooms. So you let me know. We can also tweak that. A few days we can have a shared room. Some hotels, if it's a highlight and you want to have your own room to rest, we can do that as well. So happy travels, and thank you so much for listening.